The essence of what makes life worth living is being around the people you love and care about. And that's all that matters. When you're dying, that's it. You have to find that moment where you take a little bit of just literally being present and being like, I'm really grateful for where I am now, even though it's been really hard to get here. I've been a soccer fan for quite a long time. I was a really active kid. I liked to run around with my sister and my cousins, and we played a lot of like neighborhood kickball and wiffle ball. And in third grade, I went to the nurse's office every single day with a cut.
Jessie's just been hooked on soccer for most of her life, it seems.
The first time she watched soccer was like in 1999. That's really what kind of snowballed and got her into soccer. She really got me into it.
She dragged me to Revolution games and some of the friendly U.S. teams when they came to New England. We would make the trips.
The 2014 New England Revolution season was like one of my favorite years of my life. I went down every single weekend and tailgated with my friends and then drove back up and did it all again.
Jessie is kind of responsible for getting us into the soccer world that we are currently in.
Before I knew it, I was an Arsenal fan. I watch every Arsenal game I can. When I lived on the West Coast, I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning to watch them. There's a customer that comes in here at the bookstore that calls me the soccer lady, and we talk about soccer with her 13-year-old girl. We just talk about soccer stuff and soccer books, and I love to talk it. I love to talk trash about if they have, like a Man City shirt on or something, and it's really fun. Or a Tottenham shirt. That was the worst.
When the Hearts of Maine showed up, she was beside herself.
Who is a Mainer is not excited about this jersey that says Maine on it? I'm so proud of this team and the way that it came together, because it really does feel representative of being a Mainer. And I am certainly a Mainer. I have left the state and lived elsewhere and always come back. There's just a sense of when I leave that I know that eventually I'm coming back.
She came home. Her and I were going to the gym together, doing weightlifting and so forth. And there was one day that she kept stopping because she couldn't catch her breath.
Throughout the rest of the weekend, it kept happening when I was doing things. And I called my mom and I said, hey, I think I have to go to the ER. And we went to the ER. And, everything looked normal until my blood work came back and they found out that I had no red blood cells. And that is sort of an indicator that your body's not making blood cells anymore. And after a couple bone marrow biopsies, they found out that my bone marrow was making cancer cells, which is leukemia.
The company I was working for at the time told me to pack my bags, take my computer, and work from Boston. So we moved into a hotel in Boston, 20-minute walk from the hospital, and we basically spent the month of July down there, where she began her chemo treatments.
It's really hard to know that your daughter, had this life-threatening disease or cancer.
The chemo for leukemia is really intensive. It's very fast. After chemo, because of my prognosis, a bone marrow transplant was the next natural step. After getting rid of the cancer, consolidating that, and prepping for the bone marrow, I got my bone marrow transplant in October of 2019. And it was a really good match.
A lot of people would not have handled it the way Jessie has. It kicked her butt. They cured the cancer, but in so doing, it took a pretty big toll on her body.
After a bone marrow transplant, you go into a 100-day quarantine, and mine sort of ended right as COVID was about to start. And because of it was so unknown, and I was still vulnerable with no immune system, because it was so suppressed that it became like a 2-year-long quarantine.
Our outlook towards this has always been, we're going to do what the doctors say. We're going to take this one day at a time. And that's kind of what we do. She finally got her home team, you know.
That was sort of a motivating force of joy. When the joy is hard to come by, you have to pull on those things. And definitely the incoming of a soccer team to Portland was one of those things.
We bought season tickets, only 2 of them, and they went to the first game, my husband John and Jesse, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm missing out here. So we bought a 3rd ticket, and now I'm hooked.
It's so fun. The build up and the energy in this section when you see someone going for a goal is unmatched anywhere else. And it gives me a chance to sort of have this adrenaline and this excellent sort of happy energy that I don't always get.
It was a Sunday afternoon, and she just wasn't feeling well, and I couldn't get her to stay awake. I was doing stuff around the house. I'd go in and try to wake her up. She'd, yep, I'm getting up. Did that several times, and that's when we decided to call 911.
Graft-versus-host disease for me is really the skin is the biggest one. It affects all layers. I have mobility issues where, I can't walk for very long. I use assistive devices sometimes like a cane or a walker.
Her joints ache. It just really wears her out.
Because I'm so immunocompromised, I can easily get an infection. And it turns out that I got an infection that made its way to my heart. I was septic, and it was really scary. And I ended up having to spend a month in Maine Med.
And she's probably more, in some ways, support for me and saying, she tells me something, how does she say it, that
recovery is not a straight line. It's really all different kinds of wavelengths. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad, and you have to remember that.
Things fall apart and things come together.
They fall apart. That's something I read in a book when I was sick.
That's the way life kind of goes. And, kind of listening to that just makes those moments when it's all falling apart that, yes, things will probably get better. She's a fighter. She sure is.
Rob, does Jessie have grit? She sure does. Yeah, she's stubborn. She's Irish, Italian, she's like the rest of us.
I had to learn to walk again briefly because I had been so wrecked and ravaged by this infection and not being able to get up. One of the things that the nurses did for me to sort of make me feel better was wheel me over to the big windowed family room where you can see Fitzpatrick with binoculars. And I got to watch one of the games with the audio from ESPN, and I could see the actual Hearts of Pine like from the hospital window, and they were like really cool to organize that for me.
She insisted that we go to the games. So a couple of the games, we would be up there in the room with her, and then we'd just walk down to the games and then walk back up to the hospital.
I'm trying to see if I can make out my parents' seats.
But she would text me, he's got to go to a 4-3. He's got to do this. He's got to do that. She's sending me texts because she's watching the games,
Who was she referring to?
She was referring to the coach, telling him how to set the line up.
I think my dad wants me to try to see him in the same.
Oh, okay. I'm going to take your picture right now. Send it to you.
Do you see me?
It couldn't get any better. And you could almost see her from our seats. If the light was just right, you could just see her sitting up there.
To have this environment at home in Portland, where I'm from, has been just such a lift for not just me, but for my whole family.
Her main goal is not to just go to the game. She wants to get back up into our seats and be it with that crowd.
Can you open the broth for me?
Getting a diagnosis like that and sort of having to sit with your own mortality changes sort of your priorities like very quickly. It became all about making sure that, you know, I was around my family, I was around my friends, I was doing something that I loved. I started like really cooking slowly.
The team has given you a purpose, but I feel like mom and dad have also like found something that they have like logged in as like a good distraction to like kind of like the reality of
Of having your, you know, 37-year-old daughter need caretaking from you.
And like you can tell they get so excited.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, dad sings like the chants all the time.
He and I both do. Yeah.
Like he's just, I think he was over here today and he was just sitting on the couch and I'm like, what are you oh yeah, so fine.
Being in big groups is not really great for my health, so, you know, we cook in the backyard and we make food and we hang out and we feed people, and that's sort of the same thing as like I want to take care of people and I want to be a part of the community, and like cooking and soccer are all that same thread that pulls through, that it's like, this is, you know, this is my people, this is where we belong, and this is how I can be a part of helping people and being there for people.
It was a shocking outpour of help from the people of this like area. It showed you what it was like to have that like Mainer blood. Like maybe we're not gonna say hi and smile to you every time on the street, but when you need something, someone's gonna be there for you.
It has been so healing for me to be around people that like the sport, sort of take life in a similar way, and like I can just be around something I love, you know, for one day, a couple days a month, that just the rest of it doesn't matter. I'm here at soccer, I'm having a great time. It just brings all of us together in such a nice way.
So when you have the season tickets, it's the same kind of group every game, so you get to know each other. And they're always asking about her. When's she coming back? You know, I hope she makes it. One of them bought her a hat.
My goal was to get to a Hearts game as soon as possible because I missed all of the July games. And I was like, I have to be back by August. That was one of the big things. And we made it happen.
Yeah, I mean, Mainers, man.
Once I got towards the Diego Union section, you know, people were like, oh, it's so good to see you back and all this stuff. And it made me feel so welcomed to be home, to be back home. This is my city, and this is my seat, and this is my section, and these are my friends. These is, you know, it's like family.
It's exciting to be at the games. She wants to see you win, boys.
And you just kind of get caught up with her just because of, you know, how passionate she was.
She doesn't give up. She's working through it.
I really do feel like this is such a huge part of healing for me, to be in this section with these people.
A lot of passionate soccer fans in Portland.
And it gives me a chance to sort of have this adrenaline and this excellent sort of happy energy that I don't always get.
I love when Bobby gets a yellow. It's important to me.
Being there definitely makes me feel like pre-cancer. I'm not sick, I'm not chronically ill. I'm just Jess enjoying soccer.
And there it is. Pulling out to punt. That'll do. 4-2 the final score.
It just makes me feel normal and nice. And that's really good when you live sort of an abnormal life.
You know, it's easy to just kind of give up, so to say. I don't think she would really give up, but she has remained pretty positive through it.
For us, it's just super important to have this like bright light in our lives. And this is it. What win, lose, or draw. It's close to my heart because that's how I'm still here, able to watch Hearts of Maine games even from the hospital window. Every Monday I go down to Dana-Farber for treatment for something called photophoresis, where they expose my blood to UV light to try to take out the cells that are causing me problems post-transplant. And my dad, while I do that, does a triple donation of platelets, which means he saves 3 lives right there, right then, when we do that. So while he's like saving my life as being like an excellent father and like person, a support person, and I just like to give other people the opportunity to see how impactful you can be with so little, with just a couple hours of time.
And that's what you're gonna do.
That's what we're gonna do.